Cassie telling me Timmy had fallen down the well, and I couldn't just ignore it. I'm minutes out, investigating signals north of town. Understood. Be quick. She didn't sound happy, but possible civilians in the evacuation zone took precedence over a town that had been completely evacuated 2 days ago. Dropping to the wall section beneath me, skimmed over the flooded fields, I followed the dancing red light. Could I see wings on it? It certainly moved like a bird working hard to fight through the wind. 1 minute, 2, and I spotted the house. A solid building with no trimmings. It looked ready to shrug off tornadoes. Someone had circled it with a sandbag berm, but the sandbags were just a ring in the water now, and the low-slung house sat half-submerged. And the roof was crowded, lit up to my infrared sight. You're kidding, right? Shell popped in to float beside me, rain sleeting through her virtual projection onto my mind's eye. They skipped evacuation to stay here with kids? 5 adults, 7 children, and, yes, a dog and a cat in a carrier, huddled together under a tarp between storm lanterns. I slowed, made sure of my load. Who are they? Shell's abstraction lasted less than a second. Based on head count, property and tax records, and the AR-15s and military gear, I'm betting they're the Carltons and their neighbors down the road, the Stewarts. County Sheriff's report says they were told to evacuate, but wouldn't believe the government if it told them Sunday was coming. I sighed. Paladins? Nope, just part of a local citizens' militia. That was something anyway. Maybe I wouldn't get shot at. I brought us down, dropping the concrete barrier beside the edge of the roof, which caused a few screams. It must have looked like the piece of emergency levy had just flown out of the night to sit down by their house. I landed on top of it, which put me at roof level. It was probably a more reassuring sight. Half the reason for the colorful costume was so that bystanders would recognize and trust you in any situation. The other half was marketing, and Andrew was experimenting with textured and reflective fabrics. I'd left my armor at home to try out the patterned blue and white one-piece unitard outfit he'd come up with, and even in the storm, my star crest glowed like a traffic reflector in the light of the lamps. Of course, none of them could see Shell, standing beside me, completely unbothered by the storm. She saw no need to cater to reality, so the gusts didn't stir her hair, and the drowning rain didn't so much as spot her green tank top, which read, "If you can read this t-shirt, you are freaking amazing." "Hi," I said. Shell rolled her eyes. "Great heroic entrance. Way to make a memory." "I'm not here to sign autographs, Shell," I whispered. Raised my voice. "Does anyone need a lift? And who does the dragon belong to?" The shining red bird I'd followed turned out to be a fist-sized ruby dragon. It had stopped fighting the storm to perch on a tow-headed boy's shoulder, and he couldn't take his eyes off it even to look at me. "It's..." Shell started. "Shh." One of the moms stepped up, pushing back her hood. She was soaked from boots to waist, and even with the heavy jacket, her teeth were chattering. "It just appeared, circled the kids, and then went away." "To do its lassie thing, obviously." I nodded. "It came and found me. I'm headed to Cairo. It's evacuated, but still dry, and we're raising the levees to keep it that way. I can give you a ride." I threw the offer out there, doing my best not to give off any suspicious, "I'm from the government, and I'm here to help you" vibes. They decided fast. Mom 1 simply told her husband she was taking the kids before they died of hypothermia, and Mom 2 seconded her. The men, however paranoid they might have been, caved. Fortunately, they had plenty of rope. They'd planned on tying everybody together and escaping on inflatable river rafts if the water covered the roof. I distributed them on top of the barrier, and they tied themselves to the hitches. A moment to balance the load, and I got us out of there. The tiny jeweled